You're on it.
Recording in progress.
You see a camera looking at us. Hello?
Hello?
There's Anthony. Can you see them though?
I can just see their, there we go. There we go. Perfect. Got you both. Excellent. Well, thank you both for joining us on here today. We've got a few members of the media that'll be asking you a few questions, and then I've got a few questions too that a couple of media members weren't able to join us, but they wanted me to ask, and I'll record and send over to them. But I think first of all, what we'll do is just maybe get both of you guys to just kind of give a quick update on your 2021 season. I know, John, you're third in points. You're 72 points behind Hagan, and 3 wins and 5 final rounds this year. Just talk a little bit about your season up to date and what you're looking for the rest of the way here in the playoffs.
Had a good weekend at the last race. We're excited. We're in the countdown. There's some tough competition right now, and we'll see where it goes. I'm really excited because Daniel Hood, who wasn't able to attend the last race in St. Louis, and Fabrizi and Marlon, they did a real good job running the car, as we knew they could. But Daniel Hood will be back this week, and we'll see where it goes. Going to be a tough battle. Hagan took the lead. Caps is right ahead of me. Robert Height, Casca, they're all trying to fight their way up the ladder. So we'll see where it goes, but I'm excited about it, and love going to Bristol. I think it's one of the greatest tracks on the circuit, so pretty excited to be going there.
And Brittany, you've got a win and 5 final rounds. You've had 10 number 1 qualifying positions this year, an incredible 8 in a row, which ranks up there in the top of the NHRA record book, I think tied for 5th, but you're second in points, and you've got a really good shot at winning your second world championship title this year.
Thank you. Yeah, we've had a great season so far, especially with the entire year that we stepped back. We came back fighting, I think, harder than ever. It just proved how much we all wanted to be out there and how much we love our job and how much I love driving. Glad to be out here. You know, we had a win doubled up with my dad in Topeka, Kansas. That's never been done before. Being able to share the winner's circle with him was pretty outstanding. So, and yeah, right now we're currently 2 in points. The last couple weekends, you know, we're a little bit of struggle on my end. You have your highs and lows as a driver. So I'm looking forward to going to Dallas and Bristol and, you know, the last 2 races of the season and bouncing back from that. But overall, we've had a great season, and we're chasing this championship down.
And Brittany, you've won at Bristol before, 2014. You were also number 1 qualifier in that race.
I've never won Bristol.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I would. I must have looked that up. So wrong.
There we go. We'll go with that.
Yep. But what would it mean to you to get a win at Bristol at this critical time in your season?
Bristol is one of my favorite tracks on the circuit. I've said that since day 1. It's Thunder Valley. There's no other track like it. A racetrack that just runs right through the valley. It's unbelievable. And you know, we're looking for a win there. I've never won there before, but I've had some success. But looking to, you know, get the whole thing done and end up in that winner's circle with our flavor pack team.
I think I've won there a number of times. What made it special to me is I go back in my career, my children were there. We used to run this race on Father's Day. It made it really unique. And to win with your kids there, that was pretty cool. But now they've moved it. They moved Bristol, which I really like, into the countdown later in the season, which is now. And I think we're going to do some great racing. We're going to have great crowds there. And we're going to see some, you know, record runs. I'm hoping. All depends on the weather. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, John, you've got 4 wins in Funny Car, and then does it seem like it's been 20 years since you beat the Dragsters in the old Winston Showdown back in 1999?
You know, that was Vandergrift I was racing, and everybody was there. Bernstein, you know, Perdome, the list went on and on. And of course, I'm an old match racer. That's where I come from, and a lot of them also. But I was able to get to the final. It was a big payday money was, I think it paid $250,000 to win that race. And somehow I got to the final, and it was pretty cool to race a dragster, and it was a pedal fest. And the Vandergriff, he pedals pretty good himself. But I got the win. I got to the other end, collected the money. Life was good. But was that special? Yeah, because you never race. I have a few times in my career. I raced Brittany at West Palm Beach during testing. I raced the Johnson kid up at a match race, a little track up in Michigan. And of course, he kicked my butt. But it's really cool. But to race the whole field, the kings of our sport, and to get the win, that was a proud moment for me and Austin Coyle and Bernie Federley and the whole team. We did it as a team.
All right, we got a question here from Jeff Birchfield of the Johnson City Press. Go ahead, Jeff.
John, for both you and Brittany, just to simply be back out here again after, last season, what does it mean to you guys?
I think we're all glad to be back out here. Last season was tough for all of us, but the one great thing was our team's top to bottom returned with us, and it just proves their loyalty to John Force Racing, stood by our decision, and returned with us stronger than ever.
Bristol has great racing there. A beautiful facility. The NASCAR, everybody that's right there. But I like to go into the state line where you cross the line right there in the little town of Bristol, and it's got the big sign overhead Bristol. But the eateries there are really the best, and we like going there and having dinner and breakfast too. But I always go. I think I drive to Johnson City because I always find Krispy Kreme, and I treat myself once a year to a big old giant donuts. Best stuff. How's that for a? Not even my sponsor, but it's a plug for Bristol.
They weren't asking about Bristol. He asked about after being off for a year return.
I didn't know. I thought you answered that.
Oh.
No, I'm excited to be back. I love racing, and to set out a year, we only ran the opening race at Pomona, and we ran Phoenix, and we returned around at Gainesville to go home. But yeah, to be back racing, that's what we live for, our family. And you bet, nothing gets better than that.
All right, we'll go with Jarvis Heron, WCYB. Go ahead, Jarvis.
John and Brittany, I'm just curious, did you guys' mindset change this time around, considering the races in October versus the typical Father's Day weekend?
My mind change, we go after it. I leave that up to the crew chief. That's why the crew chiefs, that's why they make the big bucks. And I do my job driving. I've heard, I think my wife said last night, there's going to be some heat there, which could make it a crew chiefs put a lot of pressure on them racing on a hot racetrack. But every time I hear there's going to be rain or there's going to be hot or it's going to be cold, it just changes. So I don't even want to listen to that. We're just going to go there and full steam ahead.
Yeah, and win the thing is the plan. But it adds an extra race to the countdown. So depending on where you're sitting, that could either be a positive or a negative. But it's cool that it's in our countdown. I've never raced with it in our countdown. It's typically Father's Day weekend, but it should be interesting. We're hoping for cooler conditions than what it typically is in June. So excited to get there.
When we go race, Brittany drives Monster Energy. She drives Flavor Pack. I drive Peak and Blue Def, and of course Chevrolets. Of course, we have Auto Club, Cornwell Tools, all the other sponsors that are with us. And when you make those contracts, they don't care whether it's hot or cold or snowing. All they want to get is a win where they can sell product. So we're excited to go there. So whatever it brings, my crew chiefs are ahead of the game right now, trying to figure out where we're going and what the conditions will be. But when we get there, we'll take it on.
All right, we'll go back to Jeff Birchfield. Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff.
I forgot to take my unmute off. Sorry about that. But John, when was the first year that you actually came to Bristol and raced? Was it like back in the 70s or early 80s? Or?
I raced there at the old track, in the early days with Bernome and Bernstein, right there in the valley, Thunder Valley. I was there when they pulled, I drove a big old tractor, a DA Cat, and I pulled down the tower. They had chains hooked to it, and me and Kenny Bernstein were driving the two different tractors, and we pulled it down, just a media day being part of it. I don't know when that was, but that had to be late 80s or early 90s. When did this track open? I can't tell you that date.
Yeah, I think the track was built like in 70, or I mean in 65, but
Yeah,
that was probably 90s when you're talking about. I think the tower was torn down. I think it's when Bruton, bought the track and all that.
Yeah, so I was there in the 80s because I raced for different series, and then NHRA came in, then we built a new track, or Bruton did, but beautiful place.
You were talking Eaton in downtown Bristol. Have you talked to Michael Waltrip, like his new brewery that he's opened up there?
I didn't know that he had that, but I'll sure go by and see it. Thank you for the tip.
Good food there. Actually, we had a media thing there a few weeks ago.
He's Waltrip, that whole family of racers, really good people I've got to know, like Earnhardt and a lot of them over the years. Lost Earnhardt, but love to, I'm talking to IndyCar people now because of my son-in-law, Graham Rahal, and talking to NASCAR people. Life couldn't get better, and drag racing.
All right, we'll go back to Jarvis. Jarvis, do you have another question?
John and Brittany, you talked about how it feels so good to be back, coming back to Thunder Valley. Just what did you miss most about it? What excites you when you see it coming up on the schedule?
I enjoy, they prep the track really good. Now I'm hearing rumors it could be a little hot, but it doesn't matter. We'll take it, whatever the Lord gives us. But NHRA does a great job at prepping the racetracks. It's a great facility, but it can get tricky. I've run good there. I don't think I've run national records there, but we're in a different part of the season now. So we'll see. It's much later than before, and we'll see how it goes. But just being in the facility, you can stand on the hill at night. We go up on the hill and we do interviews with you guys with media, but you're able to look out over the NASCAR scene, the drag race scene. It's just one of the coolest parks on the circuit. Everyone knows, Bristol, just unbelievable place to be. Looking forward to going there.
Brittany, did you have anything to add to that?
Good question.
Just how cool and what did you miss most about Bristol over the last 2 years since NHRA hasn't been there?
It's just like I said earlier, it's one of my favorite tracks on the circuit. There's no racetrack like it. Like he says, you could stand up on the mountain and watch, these cars go 330 miles per hour down each track. It's just unbelievable. It's a beautiful facility. It's a Bruton Smith track, and now we'd like to, enjoy it from the winter circuit.
John, you've got 16 World Championship trophies. What would it mean to you to get another one this year at age 72?
Well, it's going to be a fight to get it. There's a whole bunch crowded up right there. There's 5 or 6 teams that can run for that title. Wilkerson's hot rod got real fast lately. Cruz with this new crew chief, he's real fast. Robert's always been fast, but we struggle off and on with different stuff that we try and test. But we're going to see where it's going to go. Hagen jumped right back out. He was out with COVID, but he popped back in. And I want to say, Tommy Johnson did a great job driving for Schumacher that weekend and getting them the win. So in the end, it's going to be a tough fight, just like the fight in Top Fuel. We got our hands full, but I love racing. And I never came to the sport ever thinking I'd ever win a race, let alone 16 championships. So I just like racing. I like driving. I like the cheer of the crowd. I want the fans to come out and be part of us. When we look in the stands from the cockpit of our cars on the start line, and we see all those people, man, you get a fire in your belly. You get lit. You want to go after them. And it motivates me. So get mom and dad and grandpa and grandma and the kids and come on to the races. NHRA drag racers, not just John Force Race and Robert Height, Brittany or myself, all the racers from all the categories will entertain you.
All right, Jeff Birchfield, did you have another question for John or Brittany?
Yeah, John, who do you consider your biggest rival over the years? And I guess Brittany, your career is obviously not quite as long, but who's been your toughest rival, you feel like?
Well, I'm still chasing Don Perdome in my head, Raymond Beadle and McEwen and those guys. That's where I came from. So many. Al Hoffman came along and was a hitter there for years. Bazemore, these guys. But right now, I got to look at the field. You know who you got to race. Ron Capps is right there in the hunt, and Hagen, and then of course you got Robert Height, my own teammate that I got to race against. Those guys are probably the three best leavers on the circuit. And so, but then there's Tasca, and there's Wilkerson, there's Cruz, J.R. Todd. The kid's great. J.R. Todd, love to watch him race. And they're all in this hunt with us. So anybody can take anybody out. We'll just see where it goes.
For me, biggest competition the last few years is Steve Torrance, Antron Brown. We're right now we're the three that are battling it out. And just previous years, it's always been Steve Torrance, been the guy to beat out there, the team to beat. But every weekend when you roll out there Sunday, it's whoever's in the lane next to you, first round throughout the rest of the day. So it's everybody on the list that we're chasing down.
Brittany, got to ask you about that number one qualifying streak. How cool is it to be able to drive a fast car like that every weekend?
It's pretty outstanding. I have an incredible team with David Grubnick, Max Savage, and all our guys around us. They are a tight-knit, incredible team. So proud to be teamed up with them. And, the records we've pulled off just this season is pretty incredible. I'm proud to stand next to them. And I'm really looking forward to see what we could do end of this season.
Jarvis, did you have another question for John or Brittany?
I'm good. I got what
All
I
right.
needed.
Okay, Jeff, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Well, we thank you both for joining us, and we wish you best of luck this weekend out at the Texas Motorplex. And we'll look forward to seeing you here at Bristol Dragway in a few days.
Hey, can I just take a minute to thank these? We
Yeah,
need
definitely.
all the media that we can get to build our sport, to build our sponsors and ourselves. And we just want to thank you for giving us the time here with NHRA to try to put the word out. So thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for having us.
Yep, definitely. Thank you guys. Take care. Good luck this weekend.